Nirmala, put your video on. I need to see you. Hi, so Bhavna, am I audible? Okay, I can't hear you. Just a minute. You can't hear me. Now am I audible? Nirmala, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, okay. Fine. So, what about Bhavna? Can you hear me now? You can't hear me. Can you check your audio settings? Bhavna? I think it's done. Now can you hear me? Bhavna, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, fine. So good morning, girls, ladies, in fact, right? Welcome to the Zoom session for HRM training. We are going to have only 2 participants today, in the sense in the morning session, okay? Because of the work timings. For the rest of the guys, they'll be attending the evening session. So rest 3 of them. Fine. So yeah. So you guys at home, working from home because
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
lockdown. Okay. So let me just start off with a quick round of introduction with both of you. Okay. I know your details, but you guys need to interact with each other also. Fine. So can you just tell something about yourself? We can start with Bhavna.
I'm not being able to see anyone in the screen, only you and me.
Can see. Okay. So in the side button, you can you see on the top right corner view?
No.
Okay. There's a view button on the right hand side, or maybe on the left hand side if you've logged in from your phone. On the left hand side of the screen, you can see a grid.
She had come in the video few seconds ago, but then again I am not being able to see her.
Yeah, same here.
You can't see. Okay.
Now I can
On
see
the
her.
you can. Fine.
Now I can't see you.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Prerna.
Fine. So, guys, you can introduce yourself, okay, and to me and to your fellow participant also. So, Bhavna, yeah, you can start.
Hello, hi. My name is Bhavna, and I am from Siliguri only. I have done my education from Darjeeling till class 7, and then I continued further. I continued my further studies in Siliguri, and now I'm working in one of the IT companies in Genicom as a recruiter. And now I want to learn more about HR management. So I am attending this training with our dear ma'am Pratima.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so Nirmala, you can
Hi,
also.
I'm Prerna from Sikkim, currently pursuing MCOM from IGNOU University, Gangtok, and currently work as a HR at Unique Traders at Siliguri only.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So that's great. I'm so happy to have few trainees or interested aspirants who want to be an HR resource to companies. Like you may start off something in the near future, being a HR personnel or an HR what to say, a very good HR resource in certain organizations also, right? So I hope that this training session is going to help you with your dreams and achieve what you're aiming at. Okay. So I just wanted to understand from you all, like there are various other professions, right? But why do you think you want to become an HR? Why not any other field? What attracts you so much in this field?
Initially, when I started my career, I started being assistant professor. I was so much into being assistant professor because my father himself has been a professor for a long time. So seeing him, I was very much into it. So when I finally got the opportunity to work as an assistant professor in one of the private college, I found it very monotonous. And going to the college, teaching the same thing to the students and coming back, it was not my cup of tea, I would say, because I like something that is very challenging. It would stress me, but I want something that can update me every day, so that I don't remain stagnant my whole life. I want to learn and learn new things every day, and in whatever I do. So I wanted something challenging, and after that, I worked in a corporate company in logistics, and then I came to know about the HR. So I saw how they work, their value, the way how they handled the employees, and all the responsibilities are in the hands of the HR, and they are considered to be the backbone of the company. So that is how I started building my interest in it. And then I started applying for it. In that company, I could not get a chance. Then when I came back home, here there was one television company. It was a new company. So I went there for an interview, and luckily I got there. But unfortunately, I could not continue further because of some paperwork. They could not continue the company to run. So I've been trying to find a good company where I can work as an HR and be like you now.
Okay. I'm sure you're going to be something more than me. Okay, we'll try to learn new things, and of course, your experiences teach you a lot, right? So I'm sure you'll be able to reach new heights. So all the
Thank you
best
so
to
much.
you, Bhavna. Okay,
Thank you so much.
and yeah, let's hear from Nirmala. Nirmala is also a very young aspirant. I've been meeting her since I think last 2-3 months, right?
Actually, I got this opportunity accidentally. Actually, I worked as an HR.
Okay.
Actually, I worked as an accountant earlier, but I got an opportunity to be an HR. A different, matlab, have same boss, but he has a different company. He gave me the opportunity to being an HR out there, and recently I like it As being an HR, I like it. That's why I want to continue this profession.
Okay. So what are you doing currently as an HR, Nirmala? So what are the main functions that you're carrying out?
I'm recruiting, looking about all the salary and all, attendance and
Okay.
all that.
So you're doing the negotiations and everything, salary negotiation. So how does it feel? Does it feel powerful? Does it feel responsible? Talking about people's
Yes,
salaries. Yeah. Okay. So very good. I'm so delighted to have you both. And today we are going to, as I've sent you the schedule, today we are going to start mainly with the introduction to understand what is HR all about. Okay, so I'm going to share certain screens with you, and I'll show you a presentation, and then we can start off. Just give me a minute. Just a minute, okay? This one is running a little slow. So I'm sure you guys know about me. Is there anything that you want to know about my experiences and my work? Is there anything that you want to know?
How did you started your career as an HR? You knew it from the beginning. You wanted to be one, and you had knowledge about the HR, or
Not exactly. Okay, I was also, it was quite accidental for me. I was pursuing my graduation. I did my BSc biotechnology because I had interest in, the science field throughout. I still feel that if I would have studied something else, I wouldn't have been able to like BA or BCom because that's not what I like. And I am not a very, that rattu kind of a person. Okay, so I'm more of a logical kind of a person who likes to, understand and then do things. Fine. So science was something which gained my interest, and my father always wanted me to be a doctor, but I did not find it very interesting because it was very monotonous, like how Bhavna was saying. Okay, so studying all the time, I like to learn from my experiences rather than just sticking to books. And yeah, so I was just experimenting things. I joined Dell as a customer care support as soon as came out of college. And then a few of my friends said, see, there is an opportunity for an HR, why don't you try here? And I didn't actually know what is HR all about. And then I got this opportunity with one of the multinational companies. It's called Manpower Services. And I don't know what the senior manager found in me. She took me, and then in 4 months, I was doing recruitment first. Most of the HRs, we start our career through recruitment, right? And I also got this chance through recruitment. And then in 4 months, I was a client relationship manager for IBM. Okay, so it happened that way. Just started building, and then I went to HP as an HR, and then after that, I did my MBA 2 years, and I got placed as an area manager. So to be frank, I have been a little lucky in terms of this particular profession as an HR. So I have been getting good opportunities, and yeah, when you are directly thrown into the pool, you have to learn to swim, right? So when I was thrown into the pool of being an area manager for Future Group directly after my MBA, I learned a lot. I was quite young, but still the experiences. I was forced to be act mature, act very bossy, which I had to because the people who were reporting to me were older than me, and I could not let them take over me, right? So I had to build my personality and all that. So in the whole process, that groomed me, that taught me a lot, and my interest started building more and more in HR. So then right now I live with the tag of being a people person. So I'm more of a people person, is what many company heads uh, tell. So they talk about me that way. So yeah, I'm glad to be a people person, right? Because all HRs have to be a people person. We have to be approachable. We have to go talk to people. We should be, I'm not very social when it comes to my personal life, but when it comes to my profession, yeah, I'm always walking to people. I'm always, talking to them, trying to find out things, and, trying to like build a good relationship of the employee and the employer. So we have to do that. Okay, so that's about my.
Wonderful. As a trainer.
Yeah, I'm so glad myself. So can you see the screen that I'm sharing right now?
No.
You cannot. Okay. Give me a minute. This is our first session, so a bit of trial is going to take some time. Just be a little patient. Yeah. So before we move into what is HR and our understanding about human resources, okay, I want to talk about one basic thing, okay, without which we HRs cannot function. So have you heard about the employee life cycle? Have you heard about employee life cycle? Have you heard of this terminology? No, not yet. Okay.
No.
Employee life cycle is a term which is referred to the entire span that a employee spends in a company. Okay, so from the moment he enters into a company till the point where he exits the company, the entire span of his work is called employee life cycle. Now, can you view? Can you see this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, fine. So, see, this is the employee life cycle. Okay. So many people or many writers, authors, they categorize the employee life cycle, the different stages in maybe 5 to 6 stages. Okay, but I have categorized it in 3 stages. So in the screen you can see the first would be recruitment and selection. Okay, and
I'm not being able to see. I only see the folders. I mean the PowerPoint folders.
okay, so maybe it's a little slow.
Is Nirmala being able to see?
Can you see the slideshow, Nirmala?
No, ma'am.
No.
You're not.
So we both are not being able to see.
Okay, just hold on. Now?
I mean, we can see the folder kind of Power PPT, but you've opened it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not being able to see the open.
Okay.
Maybe it's the internet connection that is
Yeah. I think
hampering.
it's a bit slow.
Yes, now I'm being able to see. Nirmala?
Yes, ma'am. Now I can say.
Yes, now we can see.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. So can
Yes.
you see the 3 stages? The purple one.
Yes.
The first one is recruitment and selection. Okay, so this is my easy understanding, very simplistic. Okay, I don't want to categorize into small stages. That just creates confusion. But as per my understanding, and to make it very simple for you, there are three basic stages for an employee in an organization. Okay, the first is when he is hired and selected. So that stage is called recruitment and selection. Okay, and the second stage, after he is recruited, now he's in the organization, then we have to start an employee retention plan. Okay, I will explain all this in detail. Okay, and the last one is the employee exit. So when the employee is planning to move out of the organization. Okay, this is employee exit. So you guys have to be familiar with these terminologies. Okay, recruitment and selection is a process where an employee is taken into the company. Right, like how Nirmala said, she is into recruitment right now. And also Bhavna, I'm sure you are also doing recruitment, right? Currently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where you know you're searching for different sources to take in people from different backgrounds, different you know positions that you're working on, right? So that process
Yes.
is called recruitment. And what are the measures of selecting them? Okay, there are various people, applicants who will be there. Now you need to select them through different modes of interview, right? So it could be a personal interview, it could be a written interview, right? It could be psychometric interview. Okay, we will talk about all this in detail when we take up recruitment and selection later. Fine. Now, employee retention. Once the employee is already hired, all the appointment letters and everything is done, the training and induction part is over. Now, his life cycle, his tenure in the organization starts. So, what do? We start maybe with the training, then we have to do his payrolling, his attendance, right? Whatever processes that we have, maybe there are some issues in his work, or you know, the performance appraisal part. So all that comes in employee retention. Fine. That is retaining the employee in the organization. So what are the different things that we do to retain an employee in an organization? And the employee exit part, where he or maybe the employer decides to part ways. Either he resigns himself or the employer wants him to leave the organization. Okay, so that becomes an employee exit part. Fine. So these are the three simple steps. Now, when I talk about employee life cycle, see, an employee, how do we give him employment, right? We need to attract. So how do we do recruitment? We need to attract applicants, right? So right now, suppose we have the position of an accounts executive. Okay, you have a position of accounts executive in your company. So how do you attract the applicants? Maybe you throw an advertisement, maybe you talk to people. That is called referencing. Okay, that terminology wherein you talk to people, try to get candidates, that's called references. Okay, and maybe you talk to your internal employees, that's again internal references. Okay, and maybe you use the job portals like Naukri, Monster, and all these. So that is again advertisement, and that is sourcing through job portals. So that is called attracting the candidates. Fine. And then recruiting. After attracting, after you get the applicants, what do? You start your process of recruitment. That means you start interviewing them. Okay. And then you try from, suppose you've got 10 applications for a position, then you shortlist them, right? For one position, if you have 10 applications, you start screening the CVs or the applications. After screening, you come down to maybe 4, right? In that 4, you start interviewing them, okay, and then you recruit the best one. Fine, that will be recruitment. Can you see my pointer?
Yes.
Yes.
First was attraction. Then once you decide to take an employee, you select the right candidate, it's called recruitment, right? And then you onboard. What is onboarding? Onboarding is taking the employee into the company. Fine, that is called onboarding. Now there are various process of onboarding. You do your induction, right? You do the onboarding and welcome of the employee. Fine, you plan the whole induction and training program for them. So that is called the onboarding, that is welcoming a new employee into your organization. That is the first stage. You are providing employment. That's the first stage of employee life cycle. Fine. Is this clear, the first stage? You have any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Okay. Now the second is retention, the employee retention stage which I had spoken to you about. Okay, so that is the retention. So here the candidate will try to grow and strive for excellence. So once you enter the company, what happens is generally we have a probation period. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you from a very organized company's point of view, how it should be. Fine. There are a lot of companies in Siliguri who are in a very nascent and very young stage, who do not have very organized systems and process in place. Okay, but as an HR, okay, HR is supposed to be a custodian of all the processes in a company. Okay, we are supposed to tell the companies that this is the process that should be followed. So I'm going to talk to you from that point of view. Fine. So when an employee after joining a company starts, comes into the company, he starts to grow and strive for excellence. That means start to perform his duties, right? Now, when a employee joins a company, there's a probation period, right, of 3 months or 6 months. Are you aware of this?
Yes.
Nirmala, are you aware of this? Nirmala, can you hear me?
She's not audible.
I don't think so. She can hear me. Okay. Nirmala, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can. Okay, fine. So, Nirmala, I was just asking, like, are you aware of the probation period of employees in a company?
Yes, ma'am.
You are. Okay. So as soon as somebody joins a company, he's under probation, right? He's in a observation phase, right? So his work is being observed constantly. So that would be for a period of 3 months or 6 months, right? So that is the probation period where he is learning, okay, what he is supposed to be doing, right? And also the company sets its expectations from the employee. What is expected out of him, right? And at the end of probation, what happens? The company decides, and also the employee decides whether this particular role is for him or not. Okay, so that happens during the probation period. Okay, so here, growth and strive for excellence. So once probation is over, he still starts doing his job. He keeps doing his job, what is expected out of him, right? So performance management is going on here, okay, during employee retention. So suppose an employee is given a certain task of, example, I told you, accounts executive. The company also needs to evaluate whether he is doing a good job or not as expected by the company, right? So that is where performance management comes in. Okay. Now, what is KPI? KPI is key performance indicators. Now, how will a company key performance indicators? Okay. Now, how will companies, see, most of the companies, they do not know how to quantify. They do not know how to quantify somebody's performance, right? Just by observing, there may be like around 3 to 4 people in the management who will decide whether an employee is performing well or not. Right. Now, I may have a different perspective. Somebody else might have a different perspective because their ways or their areas of measurement of how they are looking at somebody's performance may vary, right? So
Yes.
that's why we need to measure the performance. Okay, how will we measure somebody's performance? Through KPIs, that is key performance indicators. So we will have to set indicators. Okay, we will have to set indicators which will talk about how the employee is performing, so we can rate them. So all this again in detail I will explain to you when we are doing the performance management system. Fine. And then we need to train employees. Okay, we need to check whether they need training, further training or not, to enhance their performance. Okay, and then we need to check whether we are paying them right. So what is comp and ben? It is compensation and benefits. What is compensation? It is the salary that we are offering them. So it's not just the enhanced salary, it is the all compensation. Means we'll again do the breakup in detail. So it's the basic, DA, and the ESIC, medical facility, all that, the breakup is there. That is called compensation. Okay, and benefits. So what benefits are we giving? Like travel allowance, medical insurance. So these are benefits other than the salary. Fine. And then entrepreneurship and innovation. So mainly in private organizations, any employee is expected to be innovative and more proactive, right? So they are expected to come up with new ideas, which shows their entrepreneurial skills. Okay, which shows that they are not one among the crowd. Okay, they are something different. How can they add value? Okay, and third is development. So whether somebody can be a trained manager. Suppose your manager is there. In case he leaves, who will be the second line of leader? So all that. What is the career path of that particular employee? Okay. What is the kind of culture that he's setting in the company? So all this will be decided during the employee retention phase. Too much going up? It's all going over.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
You're fine. Okay. I'm sure this is the first session and you'll take a little time to, get used to the terminology. Okay. But if you aspire to be an HR, you'll have to live with these terminologies throughout. You'll have to talk this language.
Okay.
Okay, so start getting used to. Maybe later, whenever you get time, you can Google on these, terminologies, understand what it is all about. But I would really appreciate if you ask me questions. Okay, so that we can clear it off. Fine. And the last stage would be the attrition, which is again, attrition is one terminology we have to get very used to. Right? So attrition, you understand attrition, both of you?
No.
Okay, attrition rate. Okay, we will be dealing with the BPO employees in Siliguri a lot. Okay, and they say in BPOs the attrition rate is very, very high, which means the number of people leaving every month is very high. So most of the times we are engaged in recruiting new people, replacing them, right? So attrition means people leaving.
Okay.
Okay, so we referred to it as employee exit in the first slide.
Okay.
Right? Fine. So you guys take a break for 10 minutes. We will join back. Fine? You need a break or you want to continue?
I'm fine. We can continue. I don't
Continue, ma'am.
continue.
Okay, so you're finding interesting. Very good. I'm happy. Fine. So we can continue. So you understood this slide? Any questions you have?
No.
No. Okay, you guys are making note of the essential things, right?
We are writing the point.
You're writing. Fine. Okay.
We will be receiving this PPT.
Yeah, I will share the link with you. Okay, so you can have a look again. You can refer to it when you are free. Okay, so
Thank you.
stage one, no problem. So stage one, ELC will refer to employee life cycle. Okay, so that's the short form that I'm using. Stage one, which we were talking about, is employment, right? Of attracting people. So I have certain definitions here which I'm going to read out. Okay. I have been explaining it to you, but reading it out and using specific words which are used during our business, in our businesses, will be helpful for you. Okay. So attraction, employment is when people start their employment in a company. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So attraction,
Yes.
we already discussed about attraction, right? Attraction, attracting of applicants for a certain position. Okay. So attract, position as an employer of choice, build and leverage our unique story, emphasize employee value proposition versus competition, attract best relevant talent. So why do you think, instead of hiring, why do you think this attract is the word that we're using? Why do you think we're using the word attract?
Because before hiring the candidates that we are looking for, they
Mhm.
need to have interest in the company that we'll be hiring for. If I'm working in a particular company and I want to hire good employees for my company, then
Mhm.
I have to make sure that I show my company is far better and different than the other companies that are on the same business. So I have to show and advertise that my company is unique in this field and that field, and we are providing this benefit and we are providing these facilities, and how employees are treated here. That we are like more like a family, and we just not make our employees labor. We are friendly. We are like homely. Like there are many things that we
We
can
can
do
showcase.
the yeah. So after that, when the candidate himself or herself is very much interested in this, then it will be easy for us to take an interview and hire the
Hmm.
candidates, because they'll be coming willingly. So in
Hmm.
that case, what happens is once the candidate is hired, there will not be fear that the candidate will be leaving the company. So they'll be happy to work here, and if we are honest and provide the same facility that we have been advertising it, then there are chances 90% that they are gonna
Hmm. Right.
retain in the company.
You're right. So we need to show them what is the benefit of joining the company, right? Joining our company. Why are we
Mhm.
better than the rest? So that is going to be attraction. Okay. So our unique story. So in this definition, you see position as an employer of choice. Okay. There are a lot of companies in the market. Okay, but we need to position ourselves. So position means we need to show ourselves as an employer of choice. Okay, there will be a lot of companies, but why should they choose us? Okay, so we need to build our unique story, emphasize our employee value proposition. That means what are we doing which is different than others? Okay, employee value proposition versus our competitors. Versus competition means our competitors. Okay, and attract the best relevant talent. So we cannot just attract anybody. See, if an employee wants to join a company for certain benefits, the company also needs to be benefited by taking that employee, right?
Yes.
So we have to understand whether we are taking the right employee or not. So that is the attract best relevant talent.
Talent.
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So Nirmala, you have any questions in
No,
attraction?
ma'am.
No, you're understanding. So you need to understand this because you are doing recruitment now, right? So attracting
Yes, ma'am.
the best talent. Okay, fine. So next we come to recruit. What is recruiting? It is getting the right people. You guys can see the slide, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, getting the right people at the right time through professional and transparent process. Okay, so you cannot, what is this professional and transparent? Professional and transparent means everybody who's involved in this process should know who you are taking and by what means. Okay, it shouldn't be an unfair mean. Suppose there are 4 applicants and you choose to take one. Okay, you need to show why you are taking this one candidate and why not the others. Fine. So while you are building a process of recruitment, I suggest, okay, you always make a form. When you're interviewing somebody, just try to make a form, okay, which talks about, you guys, you can recollect, right? In the resume that we see of an employee or of an applicant, we generally write at the back side of the resume. We keep writing notes. Do you? When you're doing hiring, when you're interviewing people, do you write notes? No?
Yes.
Why is there
No, not in my present company, but yes, in-house HR recruitment, yeah, we used to write.
Okay, okay. So while interviewing, I suggest you start writing notes, okay? Either at the back of the resume, okay? Or more better than that, you have an interview evaluation form. That is called an interview evaluation form, okay? In that, you can, build, suppose, it depends on the profile again. So as I told you, if you're hiring for a customer care support for BPO, then what do you look for? You look for good communication, right? Good English speaking ability, right? So depending on the process, of course. So English speaking ability, you have to rate between 1 to 10. Okay, so there you give your remarks between 1 to 10. How much do you rate this particular applicant? Suppose an ex-applicant has come for an interview. Okay, so in communication, how much do you rate him out of 10? Suppose you rate him 8, that means he's very good, right? And then you rate on the maybe on the grooming standards, maybe his discipline, okay, maybe his tenure, how long does he survive in any company, okay? So on these basic, you categorize what all things you're looking for in a candidate, okay? Then you put a measuring point, like between 1 to 10, this is how much I rate, okay? And then that you can have it as a document with his CV, just attach it, okay, and keep it in your file. Okay, and when you're taking a decision, it becomes very easy. And then later on, if somebody asks you, okay, why did you take this candidate and why not this one? Then you have a document in place to show. So just remember, HR is all about having documentation in place. I won't say all about, but yeah, it is the 90% of your work will be keeping all your documentation in place. Fine. So having a interview, evaluation form will help you a lot. So that is getting the right people, okay, by fair means. Fine. You got my point?
Yes.
Okay. Onboarding. Time to effectiveness, reach sustainable high performance in the short time. So onboarding, how well, suppose you are onboarding certain people, again, I would take the BPO's example because these are the main, kind of category that we are dealing with at the moment, right? Depending on the situation currently. So we are taking people in large volume for BPOs, correct? So onboarding them, how effectively are we onboarding them? So that doesn't mean only that, once an employee joins, you give a set of forms to fill, right? So what is your name, what is your date of birth, what qualification, and blah 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 blah. So that is just a form, okay? But how well are you doing the onboarding? That means how well are you explaining them what needs to be done? How much time are you dedicating them with them to help them understand what is the company about, what is expected out of them, what is the discipline that they need to follow, okay, who is their reporting manager, Okay, what are their break timings? Okay, what is the leave system? So explaining all these things at once would be a good onboarding process. Okay, so once if you explain to them all about this, you will save a lot of time in resolving issues later on. Okay, so once if you explain to them all these steps, all these processes, all the policies of your company, what they're supposed to do, what time they should come in, what time they should go out, what is the break timings, what are they supposed to do, what are they supposed to wear, who are they supposed to report to? If you onboard them effectively, what will happen? You'll save a lot of time later. Okay. So I think there is some kind of a network issue going on. It's a bit slow. The video is stuck. Yeah. So we're back. Fine. Stage 2. Okay. Stage 2 would be growth and strive for excellence. So that employee joining phase is over. Okay. You have any questions for me? You want to ask anything?
No.
No. Fine. So we'll move on to stage 2 where the employee joining phase is over. Now we are looking at him being in the company and start performing. So performance management. Start performing means he starts doing his work which is assigned to him. Okay. And of course, we will have to keep checking how he's performing. I think there's network issues with Bhavna's network. There's some issues, I guess. The video is getting stuck. Bhavna, am I audible to you? Fine, so I'll continue. Anyways, we are recording this, right? So Bhavna can have a look later. Okay. Nirmala, you can hear me, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So yeah. Okay. Fine. So let's move to performance management, which is reaching high performance through KPI. So earlier I explained to you what KPI is, right?
Yes, the key
Can
performance
somebody tell
indicator.
me what is KPI?
Yeah.
Okay, Nirmala, you tell me. I can't hear Bhavna. Her voice is breaking. So Nirmala probably. So it's key performance indicators. So we've already discussed about this, about how we can manage their performance. That is by indicating their key performance areas. So we set certain indicators which prove how well they are performing. Okay, like how we discussed about the interview evaluation form. Similarly, we are going to have certain evaluation criteria and numbers which define how an employee is performing. Fine. So that is key performance indicators, and then we give them appropriate training which is required to help them perform well. Okay. Suppose we ask an accounts executive to perform on Tally, but that is something, a new software or something which is being introduced. Okay, then we need to train them also, right, to help them perform, right? So that is through training and also through feedback. Okay, so we need to keep giving continuous feedback to the employees, okay, talking to them about how they are performing. In case they are performing well, we need to give them a pat on their back and say, you're doing a good job, okay, and motivate them, okay. And in case they're not doing well, also, we need to give them a feedback and say, see, this is what is expected of you. You are not performing as per our expectations. You need to pull up your socks, right? And pay for their performance. So maybe we have asked them, we have promised them certain incentives. If they're performing well, we need to give them incentives, right? We understand incentives, right? Do we understand the meaning of incentives?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is something which is other than the salary.
Yes.
Yeah. And it could also be a salary hike, maybe after a year, or you would have promised after 3 months. So as per your communication with the employees. Okay, so this is how we are going to track the performance of employees. Okay, and help them perform. So KPI would be to track their performance, and training and giving them regular feedback and paying them well according to their performance would help them perform better. Okay. Fine. So next would be entrepreneurship and innovation. Now, you know, entrepreneurship. So why do you think we are using this word here?
So that candidate comes up with their own new and creative ideas that is beneficial for the company.
Okay, so we need to unlock their potential, right? So we need to check on their interest as whether they are really interested in what they're doing or not, and what new concept they can bring in to the organization, to their job. Okay, innovation would be new ideas, okay, that they can bring to the company to perform well, to do a better job. Okay, so entrepreneurship and innovation would be build the ecosystem, enhance awareness, unlock the potential, motivate and inspire the organization and individuals to drive opportunities aligned with the dynamic market while leveraging existing internal strengths. So we have to go hand in hand with the market also, right? We have to see what kind of systems are being followed to perform a certain job. For HR example, now the latest system for attendance management, any idea what is the latest system that we're using for capturing attendance for employees? Any idea? So what system are we using, Nirmala, in Unique Traders? What system are we using to capture attendance?
Advertising. What's the status? Work in a we're hiring. From you, we're hiring.
Okay. No, I meant for attendance, like when you're doing the attendance for employees, right? So how do you manage the attendance? Is it the register system, or how is it? Is it the biometric system, or they have to log in, or how is it? They sign the register?
Doing in register online.
They're doing on the register. Okay. So what is the latest technique that we're using in attendance? Do you know? No. Okay.
No.
So the latest technology that we're using is the biometric system, the finger and the thumb system that you would have seen. There's a machine kept near the door. So we just put it there. It takes your biometric. Yeah. The earlier we had the ID cards. We used to punch the ID cards, and through the ID number, it used to take your attendance. I think, Bhavna, you'll have to move in a location where you get better network coverage. Are you able to listen? Are you able to get what
Because of, yeah, I'm being able to hear you.
Okay.
I have Wi-Fi connection. I don't know why.
Okay. Because your voice is breaking. Your video is also getting stuck. Yeah, it's fine now. Okay, fine. So yeah, so the latest technology that in attendance capture we are seeing these days is the biometric system, right? So this is how we catch up with the new opportunities and get aligned with the market. Okay, so we need to suggest, not only we, but if an employee can suggest new ideas to perform better, that would be a added advantage and more appreciable for any company. Okay, so there, growth and strive for excellences, because everybody wants to be the best, right? While working, everybody wants to perform well. Everybody wants to get the highest performance appraisal, highest hike, right? So what do we do to get the highest hike? Not just do what our boss is asking us to say. We need to come up with new idea, right? And show them a different way. Tell them, oh, see, boss, this company is using this. Why don't we try something else, something higher than that? And then you come up with, okay, what are the pros and cons? Like I told, biometric system. Okay, so what are the pros and cons? Why did we move from ID card punching? So earlier we had register entry, right, for attendance. Now then we moved to ID card punching, and now we are into biometric, right? So why all this shifts? Why all this change of attendance system? Why do you think? Because there are a lot of pros and cons.
I think because with ID card,
Yeah. Okay. You one by one. Yeah. Tell me.
Nirmala, please.
It's less time consuming.
Yeah, it's less time consuming. Okay. And yeah, less time consuming, of course, because when you're doing the salary for employees, you need to sit with the register, count how many days, right? And then you are human after all, right? There are always scope of mistakes. And then the employee will come back to you and charge you. See, I was present for 30 days. You've given me salary only for 29 days, right? So there is scope of making mistakes. Of course, it takes a lot of time. You're right. What could be the other reason?
With ID card, anyone can get their ID card and make them present. So when it's a thumb impression or a face, uh,
It's just your thumb.
when it's done with face, yeah.
So nobody else uses your thumb,
No,
right? Yeah. So there's the chances of that word is proxy. Okay. So that's
proxy.
proxy entry. Fine. Even in registers, what happens? Anybody can sign for you.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody can sign for you, and you can come in at maybe 11 o'clock and sign in for 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock,
Right?
yeah.
Lot of times it happens. Because nobody can go and sit there next to the register and watch who's coming at what time and looking at the watch. Nobody has that much of time, right? So that's the drift. Okay, so we need to suggest all these changes as an HR or as any employee, and see how you are performing and strive for excellence. Fine. Now the next slide, it's about the same thing, growth and strive for excellence. What more can you do? Talent management. Okay, so this is from an employer's point of view that we are talking. Okay, so from a company's point of view. If we are working in a company, we are an employee. Okay, if we have employees working for us, we become an employer. Okay, so this is the difference. So we are here, the slide is talking from an employer's point of view, that is from a company's point of view. So what we need to do for helping an employee strive for excellence and perform well. Another point is talent management. So focus on value-based performance and top potential talent. So what happens, suppose in a team, you have 10 people, okay, but all of them will not be performing at the same level. Okay, either one will perform very well, some will perform a little lesser, others will perform even lesser. Okay, now we need to identify who are the best performers, okay, and try to enhance, work on them more. Okay, try to see the top potential members of the team. So when there is, of course, like Bhavna, we've been discussing, right? In your team or your boss pressurizes you more sometimes,
Yes.
right? Because she knows where.
Not sometimes, most of the time.
Okay, most of the times, because she knows that if I, if I tell her work is going to be done, work will be done for sure, because she's a good performer, right? But she cannot do that with another performer who's not doing well, because she knows that it's not going to be done, right? Like with Nirmala also, sir leaves a lot of tasks in your desk, right? Because he knows that Nirmala is going to do it. Nirmala is going to make it happen, right? Probably he does not rely that much on somebody else, because you guys are the top performers in the team. Fine. So that is the difference. So focusing on the value-based performance. So you guys are adding value to the team. Okay, so likewise, we need to check on the value performers in a team, and then develop on their potential so that you get better results. Okay, and leadership development is leadership beyond management. Suppose I'm the manager for a team. Okay, but in my absence, suppose I go on leave for 10 days, who's going to be the next reporting line? Who's going to act as a leader? Okay, so developing, identifying a leader who is beyond management. Maybe we do not tag him as a manager, but his activities or his responsibilities, the way he takes responsibilities, proves him to be a leader. So he can manage the show. Okay, so leadership development is trying to build something similar to succession planning. So if a manager is not there, who's going to take in charge after him? Okay, so building leadership beyond management. So management is a tag, right? A designated person. But if that designated person is not available, who is going to be the next in line? Right. So personal growth and career development. Suppose, see, now in HR department only, suppose my example, I started my career as a recruiter. Okay, but in 4 months time, I went into client relationship. Okay, so that was a personal growth for me, because recruitment, 4 months I've done, filled in positions, shown my performance. But what happened in client relationship, I was interacting with the client, understanding the requirements, okay, and then giving it to the recruiter. So there was a next level of understanding in recruitment itself. Okay, and any kind of issues that employees at the client's place they were facing, that I used to resolve. So that was a personal growth in the same company, same department, but a different personal growth, you can say, personal learning. Okay, so personal growth and career development. So we need to keep checking with the employees what are their aspirations, maybe promotion to a next level, or maybe change in the role. Okay, sometimes I may be doing good as a recruiter, but I might do better as a client relationship officer or a manager, or maybe as an HR generalist, or maybe as payroll. If I'm very good in Excel, I may shift to payroll. I may not be very good in talking. Right, so that is shift in role. So we need to understand all that while an employee is working in a company. Fine. And culture, built to last. So if an employee, I'm joining a company, my culture and the company's culture should be matching for me to survive there. Okay, built to last, create one company through purpose and values translated into unique competency model, promote diversity and inclusion. So I would have worked in a different company where the culture is different. Okay, wherein people are allowed to voice their opinions, voice their ideas, and tell to the manager that this is what I think should be done. Okay, but I moved to a next company, maybe because of an attractive package, or maybe because of an attractive infrastructure, a nice office, maybe my friends are working there, that's why I shift the job. Okay, but my culture may not suit that company, and that company's culture may not be suitable to me because it does not allow me to speak about my own ideas and come up with my own innovations. So I would like to work with such a company. So there is a culture mismatch. Okay. So we need to take care of the culture, organizational culture as well when an employee is in the company. Okay. So you guys want a break or you still want to continue? Let's finish the stage 3 and then we'll take a break.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. So stage 3 is the last one. Okay. And that is the employee exit. Okay. So retention plan is done. Okay, we identify and retain key employees, manage succession pipeline that I already explained to you. So suppose a manager leaves, who is the second line of authority? So that would be a succession pipeline. Okay, and retention plan, we already discussed 2 slides in detail, what all other retention plans, training and development, right, and checking the performance and their career growth, checking on their career plans with the company. So these are all the retention plans. Now attrition. So respectful and
Succession pipeline.
succession. Yeah, yeah, tell me.
I want to know about succession pipeline.
Okay, the succession pipeline, like we discussed, like in a department, I give you an example, right? So 10 days, if a manager is on leave, okay, then who would be the second line of authority?
Okay, leadership development.
Yes, yes, yes. So succession pipeline, so it may not be just leaders. Oh, okay, what happened? Nirmala left. Or something's wrong with her network, I guess. Okay, so succession pipeline is that. So we try to identify, suppose we hire already a certain person in an a leadership role, but we also at the same time find out in few coming years, okay, this manager will definitely get promoted to a senior manager. Then who in the department is likely to act as a manager in his place? Fine. So we have to identify that, and that is called succession planning. Fine. Now attrition. Attrition or exit. See, attrition is a word that is very negatively we use this word because of a lot of people leaving. We say attrition is high. Oh my God, we're going to, we'll have to start hiring. There's so much of workload. So attrition is generally used in a very negative way. So I prefer using it, using the word employee exit. Okay, so employee exit, we have to do it in a very respectful and fair departure and maintain alumni connections so that, we always have the scope of getting employees or getting new business prospects from them, right? So it is always advisable for both the parties, that is for the employer and the employee, to ensure a very respectful and a fair kind of a departure. Fair how? By paying them all their dues. Okay, so some companies, what they do is they terminate the employees without the salary, right? They might be entitled to some leave encashments. They just let them go without that, right? Deduct their salary. So that is not fair. They would have worked for, no matter what reasons they are leaving, they would have worked for those many days, right? But some companies, they don't, they don't believe in maintaining a good relationship. So they just let the employee go without the salary. Okay, and respect in that way, what happens is you lose respect as an employer. So that person is going to go out and talk about you in the market, right? They're going to talk about the company in the market, and it's going to spread a very bad name. So would any other employee want to come and join you as a company? No, right? So you're not going to be a preferred employer. Okay, so that matters. So how you let an employee go also matters. Okay, so we need to set processes in place while letting an employee go. Okay, at the same time, for an employee also, it becomes important to leave a company in a respectful manner by resigning, not by just running away, by dropping a text message. WhatsApp is so easy these days. People just drop a WhatsApp message and they stop coming to work, right? So that shouldn't be the way. So there should be a professional way, serving the notice period and leaving the company, so that you have your experience letter in hand. Of course, you would have left the company, you would have given your heart and soul to the company while working, right? And you leave without an experience letter. What good is it going to do to you? You don't even have any proof which talks about your experience in that company, right? So for both the parties, it is very important to exit in a fair and respectful means. Okay, engagement, we've already spoken about how to engage an employee during the retention. So all engagement plans, mainly employee engagement, what do we know? Birthday celebrations, those are not employee engagement activities, please. Okay, so how we engage employees, training them, going and talking to them, seeing whether everything is fine or not, motivating them if they're demotivated. So all those points come under employee engagement. Okay, not just birthday celebrations and going out for movies. Fine. So these are the basic stages of an employee life cycle. So our whole work as an HR depends on this 3 stages. Our whole work as an HR, our career, our entire day, our day-to-day activities all revolve around these 3 stages.
Retention, attrition, engagement.
Yeah, recruitment and selection, employee retention, and employee exit. So the maximum span is on employee retention. So you do a lot of activities, different kind of activities during this second stage. Okay. So next, when we join, we'll understand the definition of HRM, and we will also see the evolution of HR. Fine. So just take a quick 10 minutes break and then we'll be back. Maybe you can join back by 1 o'clock. It's 12:45, right? So you can join back by 1 o'clock and then we'll have a session till 1:30.
Yes.
Fine. Okay, guys, see you then. Okay, I want to, end this slide by this last,
Thank you.
Yeah. So as an HR, we need to ensure what in time people will forget what you told them. Okay, they will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you make them feel. Okay, so as an employer, as an HR, we need to ensure. So I'm sure you would have read this quote, right? In Instagram, it's all over the social media, but I wanted to use it here because it is very important for us to understand that we need to make them feel valued. Okay, fine. So I'll see you around 1 o'clock, at 1 o'clock sharp. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.